Welcome back. When was the last time you went into a record store asking for a vinyl? It's hard to believe in our age of technology with things like iTunes that there are some students who still enjoy the nostalgia of a vinyl record. Believe it or not, this old medium of music is still alive and thriving. Cameron De Silva reports.
A small record store in the heart of Toronto has stood the test of time in a technological era. Play the Record, a convenience store turned vinyl shop, has survived in an age where music has become digital. Celebrating its 23 years in business, it continues to adapt to a new generation of music listeners. Jason, who has been with the store for 20 years, speaks on the changes it went through.
Well, back then, we were mostly a DJ shop and almost all a vinyl shop. But over the years, we've changed, and we sell a lot of other things like studio gear and digital DJ gear, turntables, and CDs, and all kinds of other things as well.
The store continues to sell vinyl, which is what it's known for, even though it's considered to be out of date. Their vast selection of vinyl include old school hip-hop and jazz, which will appeal to all music lovers. Play the Record employee Brodie talks about the nostalgia when listening to vinyl.
Vinyl is the longest standing medium for listening to your music. I think definitely because it's such a tactile thing. You get to actually hold a piece of music in your hand and you can actually see the music, which is a lot different than looking at, a shiny CD.
Quincy, a loyal customer of 20 years, credits the customer service for returning year after year.
For me personally, I would say it's the relationships that I've pretty much built within the store in the past 20 years with the owners.
Play the Record bleeds music, and that's what Jason wants to communicate to customers.
We're basically a very music-centric store. We love music, and we love people that like to search out new music, new sounds.
Play the Record is located at 357 Yonge Street. Stop by today for a trip through time. Cameron De Silva, Humber News.
Although there's fresh enthusiasm for vinyl, for many nothing compares to a live musical performance. The Humber Student Jazz Ensemble had a regular gig on Monday nights at the Rex this semester. Alexis MacDonald was there for the group's first show of the year.
Last year, a student at Humber College proposed the idea of a student jazz group to the Humber faculty. The idea was approved this year, and the Humber Student Jazz Ensemble was born. The Student Jazz Ensemble practices once a week and has been playing together since September. Fourth-year Humber student and trumpet player for the group, Sean White, says there are many things he loves about being in the ensemble.
My favorite thing about performing is just making music, just kind of like the language and the rapport you get with your fellow musicians, just the camaraderie that you get. It's something you can't do in anything else in your life.
The group is made up of 6 instruments: the piano, the trumpet, the trombone, the tenor sax, the bass, and the drums. Their first performance as a group was played Monday night at the Rex on Queen Street. The saxophonist, Savic Panylyk, says he really enjoys this venue.
I love the Rex. The Rex is a great venue, always lots of people, good walk-in crowd, great sound, just a really fantastic venue overall.
The music was well received from the dozens that attended the show. Nick Leclerc was in Toronto for business, but was happy he had the time to check out the show.
Well, I myself actually am a drummer and play trombone, so I enjoyed those 2 elements especially, but I enjoyed all of it.
4 of the songs during the band's set were arranged by the American jazz composer and saxophonist Wayne Shorter.
The Humber Student Jazz Ensemble's first performance was a successful one. They hope to schedule their next performance sometime later this month. Alexis MacDonald, Humber News.
Well, if music isn't your beat, Brampton's local art gallery hosted its first ever youth event. Many young artists took advantage of this helpful opportunity. Nadine Martin visited the gallery.
It's an opportunity for many young artists to exhibit their art for the first time. Acrylics, photography, and multimedia fill the walls of Brampton's Beaux Art Gallery for its first young art event. This event highlights something unique for participants, allowing emerging young artists to experience and showcase their art while earning money from the sale of their pieces.
There is no venues that are there for young people to show their work, and we think up-and-coming artists, young artists, need to have, they don't have a lot of money, they just don't have the resources to be able to do it.
Whether it's $15 or $45, it doesn't matter to these local artists whose hopes are to expose their talent and follow their dreams. Young artist Craig Bagol uses a photo camera for his artwork. It is Bagol's current form of creative expression.
What I really wanted to show is that you don't need a really expensive camera to get good photos. As long as you have, the principles of art and design, you can really do anything.
Family, friends, and art lovers were able to take part in the Young at Art opening reception at no charge to view art pieces and show their support. An award ceremony took place with committee member and volunteer Charlene Nichols handing out certificates to youth art participants for categories such as Honorable Mention. Youth artist Narissa Lucian won for Best Picture.
I don't really think I've run into any big challenges unless it's like a large canvas that I'm working with and how I'm going to cover the surface.
With a positive turnout for today's opening ceremony, Nichols promises that this will not be the last youth art event at Beaux. Young at Art will be running until March 2nd.
Many young local Brampton artists came out for the first time to display their art in the Young at Art display event here at Beaux Art Gallery. Nadine Martin, Humber News.
Now with a look at sports highlights, here's Mark McKelvey.
Thanks, Corey. For the last 9 seasons, the Toronto Maple Leafs and their fans have been dreaming of making the playoffs. Well, dream no more. Playoff hockey is returning to Toronto next week. We were there when the lockout ended and the season began. Demand for tickets was high outside the Air Canada Centre in Nathan Phillips Square, where young and old gathered for the Leafs home opener. But for a few lucky fans, the Leafs Blue Crew handed out free tickets to the game.
Stood at Nathan Phillips Square for like 3 hours, kept on waiting in line, hoping we'd finally get tickets. And then finally we got the couple tickets, and we only got 2, but they hooked us up with a third one because there was 3 of us.
And while not all fans were lucky, it made a mother and son's first game together a dream come true.
The guy knows what he's doing tonight, and we said, just skate, and hopefully get tickets for the game, just get it going.
And although some didn't get tickets, many were just happy that hockey was back. Now here at Humber, the Hawks had another outstanding year, winning 10 provincial titles. One team that was expected to do well was the men's volleyball team. They came into the season as the defending national champions and with a big list of expectations. Jared Clinton checked in with the team as they prepared for the provincial championships.
It may look like they're laid back, going through the motions and enjoying themselves, but make no mistake, this time to practice means a lot to the Humber Hawks. The defending OCAA champion Hawks know that every time they're on the court, they need to get better. And the team's head coach Wayne Wilkins says if they do that, he likes his squad's chances of a repeat.
I think we've got a great chance. We just have to find our game. We just haven't played well, well enough to beat those top couple teams consistently. So we'll find out next Wednesday if we can pull it all together.
Wilkins understands that this group of young men will need to be relaxed as they head toward the playoffs, and his players know his tutelage was a big part of their national championship last season. Second-year player Cam Fletcher believes it when Wilkins tells them that coming off a championship, everyone will be gunning for them.
The only place to go from the top is to go down, right? So, yeah, you have a big target on our backs and a lot of pressure.
But even with that pressure mounting in the beginning of another drive for a championship soon to begin, the Hawks look as relaxed as ever in practice. They're not taking a day off, even though they can feel that target on their backs. And while Wilkins shares his knowledge with the entire team, the veterans help mold the next generation. It's rookie Hayden Kosmerly who wants to win it all again for his veteran teammates and prove his spot on the team.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, but I feel as though it's more pressure for the vets because they're the ones that they won the championship last year. But at the same time, I do feel a lot of pressure to own up to my spot on the team.
Wilkins says all his players have played at the level he expects of them, but that won't stop him from driving them forward. The coach will continue to watch his players, hone their skills, and do all he can to take them to another national championship.
The Hawks will look to close out their season with a win here at Humber North Athletic Center when they take on Niagara. Time will only tell if the defending champions can become champions once again. Jared Clinton, Humber News.
Now, with all the provincial titles Humber has won this season, it should come as no surprise that Humber has a long, rich history of athletic success. But there's more behind the victories of the sports teams here at Humber. Darryn O'Malley takes a closer look at what it takes to be a Humber Hawk.
Varsity athletes at Humber College are among some of the best athletes in Ontario. Last season, Humber won more OCAA championships than any other Ontario college. But for some athletes, the best part about being a Humber Hawk is being a part of the Humber family.
Being a Humber Hawk, my favorite part is pretty much the family atmosphere. Not only am I a part of my own sport, but I take part in all the other sports by going out to different games and different parties and just hanging out around the school. So it's definitely knowing that you're a part of something bigger than just athletics.
The friendships athletes make can extend far beyond the playing field. Humber's athletics director, Doug Fox, says the atmosphere is what sets Humber apart from the rest.
In terms of the spirit that you have amongst the varsity athletes, I've never seen anything quite like here. You know, so many people go to another institution and come back say it was just nothing like that there, and they really appreciate what happens here.
For the athletes here at Humber College, it isn't about winning or losing. It's about the atmosphere and the team spirit that ultimately leads to gold. Darryn O'Malley, Humber News.
That's it for sports. We'll take one more break and head back to the desk with Darryn and Corey.